Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay.
And today is what?
Tuesday. Chapow. She's on to something. I don't know. Maybe we'll change the show to Chapow.
Well, we nearly had a tea calamity because I forgot the milk.
I was good. I have the coffee. You have the...
Yeah, tea. The tea. Yeah, so yeah, forgot the milk. So I had to run, come back, get a little bit
Small
of breath.
fib. She forgot the powdered whatever it is she puts
Well, normally it's milk, but I was like, I wasn't going to run with hot cup of, brewing tea to go put some milk in and then run back. So in a pinch, have some powdered milk.
And that's your homestead update right there.
Yeah.
Is she has powdered milk when there's a pinch. She doesn't want to run with hot water. Yes. Yeah. She could be clumsy. Well, like we all.
Clumsy. Guy who tripped over the kids' boots this morning.
Wow. Wow. Right. That's the extent of that. Yeah. And the new camera's in. So we may have to still play with the colors or something like that. There's a little shadow on Paula's left side of her face. But we'll deal with that. Perfection is not something we strive for here. Just better.
Just better. That's right.
We're looking for better. Good morning, everybody.
Jinx, no name. Jason.
Yeah. The game the kids play, and we
exactly.
play a few now. If you we used to say just Jinx.
Yeah, the whole no name thing is
modern.
From the young folk.
Look at that. We're moving on.
We're trying to stay hip with the youngsters.
Groovy.
Oh my goodness.
Good morning, everybody. We're one of those moods again. It
Yeah.
could be the water, could be the air. Maybe there's some love in the air.
Love is in the air.
But good morning. Nice to see you all. First, apologies to our locals. We were supposed to hang out with you yesterday after the show.
Mm-hmm. What? You got a crick in your neck. I can fix that for you.
Bet you could. No, it was a mutual thing. We both forgot, but now we're ready to go. Mm-hmm. So do stick around at the end of this show because we will come and hang out with you a little bit longer for our locals. Yep. Because frankly, you guys are awesome. And we want to be a little bit more frank with you, stuff that we don't normally put everywhere else. We're going to chat with you about. So if you want to be part of the locals, do you have a button?
I do. Give me a moment. I've got to click another button first. You go ahead. You can subscribe to The Levine Show. And then you may also become a member. Go to thelevineshow.com.
Remember, membership does help us keep the lights on. And we might be able to get rid of that shadow on Paula's left side of her face if we get enough light. So it's your fault. We don't have enough light.
No, it's your fault.
I'm talking to the people that are not members.
Well, you looked at me when you said it.
Maybe you have support. Maybe I get some support from me on this one. If you're not a member, that's why Paula's left side of her face has a shadow. So anyways, good morning, everybody. No major update for the homestead other than the new camera. So there was a lot of work put into that one.
Yes. And Deb from Locals, Groovy is not back. Just because is Groovy back in? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the old folks like us who bring it in. Try to revive it every now and again, but fail.
Groovy. Bring it back. Groovy. I'm not even sure what the origins of that is.
It's from the 70s at some point.
Well, it's the origins, not the timeline. The origins.
No, mate.
Did it mean something? Was it just like, what's up? Remember that? Let's make our way through the decades. Oh, boy. Yeah, so no other major updates other than the camera's now in and looking good, but better. At least it won't shut down. Cell phone companies are after us.
Yeah. There you go. It's still up there.
It stayed on.
It's still up.
Absolutely. Google's watching. Don't talk about Panasonic, okay? Because all three cameras are Panasonic, so we'll leave it at that. Okay, so how are you?
I'm all right. Looking forward to today. Wilbur is getting a bit of a reno in his pen. We're going to winterize his pen. Yes, not we, you and I, we and myself and someone else. Going to go ahead and do that. So, because the nights are getting a little bit chillier. And yeah, make him happy and comfortable.
And those keeping track, yes, Wilbur's pen's getting the winterization before our trailer's getting the winterization.
Well, because someone else keeps dealing with stuff in the studio instead of on the homestead.
Wow. Just outing me over and over. Okay. So what else is left in the studio?
Yeah, exactly. What else have you added to the list?
I think we're good.
I've got to steam the curtains, yeah.
Right. So to those that are a little OCD, a little bit like me, yeah, she's still got to get rid of the wrinkles. You can see the wrinkles.
Yeah, you can see. I hope you're not actually putting it at my face, just on my backdrop.
I see the wrinkles back there.
Gotta steam the wrinkles. Yeah.
No, you can't do that. You steamed your arm once and left marks.
Yeah.
They're still there.
I take a while to heal.
She does. It's kind of interesting. We get that iron up.
Yeah, I am slightly anemic. That's also something I've dealt with. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
You eat all your spinach.
I do. I love spinach. I've been adding it to our salads too.
Excellent. We're 6 minutes in. Good start. Homestead update.
I'm just babbling and calling other stuff that you haven't done.
It works for me. I think it kind of sets the mood. You tell us if you guys want to know about Wilbur and the cameras and the winterization and the powdered milk.
Although there will come a day where there won't be an update on Wilbur anymore. But not for another few weeks. I know. Dark on a Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
How do you say it? 2 as in number 2 or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Say water.
Water. Yeah, I was a party trick to you Canadians when I first arrived. Hey, can you say water?
No, you can't.
Yeah. So I know water. Water.
No, water.
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 Can you say it?
Water.
Water.
Like a duck is watering. Like you water your lawn. Water.
Watering. No, it's just water. Water.
This is what you're all paying for, members. To be clear.
Jeez.
We homeschool everybody here.
Oh my god, yeah, the joke the children are bilingual in English because they get to know. But yeah,
JJ's got Russian. Like he
he loves putting on a Russian accent. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like he loves saying internet.
Crazy kid. Love that guy.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun little buggers.
Yep.
Great.
And then more updates before we move on to the news.
No. Oh, looking forward to dealing with our lawn signs for our campaigns, and put some posters up in and around Breton to basically show what we're standing on for our campaigns, what we're running on respectively for you and I for trustee, you for city councillor. And
we've run into a couple people who's going to be voters, or we were told that I got some voters already. People haven't met yet, and I'm looking forward to that. You had a bit of a story from the village. Yeah, so I came across someone after I had asked some questions. I put some posters up, and they came to find me a little bit later to specifically ask who I was, and I wanted to clarify, is your husband Jason Levine? So I said yes, and okay, great, because I'm in Brazo, and he'll be one of my candidates, and I'll be electing him or voting for him. So thank you. I thought that was really nice that she came to find me afterwards to tell me. I don't know who that is. Yeah, I'm not going to disclose who they were, but yeah, it was nice to know where that they came to find me. Pretty pleased. Yeah, we're feeling campaign time is on. A little bit confident about it. We got our ads coming out in the Breton Booster. Mm-hmm. We've kind of laid out the next 3 weeks of that, and our signs are coming. We're going to get out there knocking some more doors and talking to some more voters. So we're going to win this. We're going to do this. That is the plan, and it's not what's the word, like a confidence thing. It's just more of a case we know what I know personally what I'm willing to do. I live with you. I know what you're willing to do for the county as well. I think we'd be great representatives in respective roles. Except she's got powdered milk, so if that's on your list of no-nos, there you go. I don't run with a cup of hot liquid. Or scissors. Ain't nobody got time for that. So good morning, everybody. Morning. So let's go ahead and jump into the news, because we do have quite a bit of it. And our guest today is going to be Clyde Do Something, all confirmed, got the link, and looking forward to having a chat with him. If you haven't seen his show, go check it out. But he's causing some fun in Blue Sky, so we'll get into that. So what happened here? I think he got moved. Oh, I see what happened, because there was some news that we didn't cover up yesterday. So let's try and get to that. Let's go find that. There it goes. So that's where we left off. Men, this is our duty, protect our ladies. So the BBC presenter Lisa Shaw died from COVID vaccine complications. The coroner finds. So the news is breaking out. You can't hide a lie for very long. Absolutely knew that this was coming. A lot of them, if you went and looked back and maybe were more honest, you will find that this has been going on for quite some time. And now the UK coroner is now finding that this particular person, presenter for the BBC, died from complications. So just kind of give you guys an English lesson, maybe not how to pronounce, because I'm horrible with that, but democide. Democide is a term coined by political scientist R.J. Rummel. It refers broadly to the murder of any person or people by their government, including genocide, politicide, and mass killings. So the general term for when your government kills you, democide. Keep that in mind. Maybe a couple books with that title in the future, but that's what that is. So forcing this on you, lying to you about it, coercing you, requiring it, all of that stuff, mandating it. Those were things that led to a lot of death. So that'll be democide. And there's also democracy in there, I guess, some democide. Danielle Smith. This is an interesting one because why do we need a law for it would be the question. But at least, I guess you're putting it down, much like our Sovereign Within the United Canada Act. Just writing it down. So Alberta is preparing legislation that would let it disregard international deals made by Ottawa. Smith's office says the step is meant to safeguard provincial autonomy and ensure proper legal processes. Yep. We'll see, because we already have your separation of powers, Section 9192. There's a lot of overreach when globalists do things through Ottawa. The only thing Ottawa should be able to do is what's in their jurisdiction. But when they overreach into our jurisdiction, we should be already stopping this.
Yep.
So as far as I'm concerned, this is not really necessary as long as we were enforcing our current jurisdiction. So the Sovereignty Within the United Canada Act and now this are unnecessary documents if we were just
if we stuck to the letter of the law and how it was written, sure, but like he says, there's overreach. There's
right, but this is not binding on Ottawa. It's not like Ottawa's going to go, oh, okay, our hand was slapped. Let's stop doing that.
Yeah, I found.
So we'll see where this heads. I asked her for a quote. I didn't get one, so we'll leave it at that. But anyways, it's nice to see her taking that stance that Ottawa shouldn't be controlling us with international deals. But we'll see where that ends up. There may be more to that I'm not aware of. Thank you, Donald Betts, for reposting my interview with Dr. Stephen Pelech. I'll get there, guys. I got to do it like 30 times and then I'll got it. Because, of course, there's a bit of correlation with the Ottawa Police and Detective Helen Grews, how they scrubbed the record by not letting things in there. And if you only go by the record, you're not getting the full story. So thank you for Dr. Stephen. Katie and I have connected. She's super, 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 super busy, very apologetic. We're going to try and find some time to do a direct interview. But yeah, so we'll keep posted on that one. You know, she's like a couple things on the go. Trying to save her ostriches, Supreme Court Canada, a bunch of people at her property. She's very, very busy. So we did that little event with the Spaces with Sean Hartman. Great to catch him. Or Sean Hartman.
Yeah, for sure.
And with Dan Hartman. Thank you. And it was nice. It was very nice. Good group of people came together, had some good words there. And yeah, a couple hours before the show. And then the show was the Saturday night mashup. It's another lively one. Nobody dropped off. Nobody ran away, which is great. But David Creighton, Chet Chisholm, Vlad Tepes, I don't think is his real name.
No, it's not.
Okay, I don't even know his real name.
It's not.
I've known him all this time as Vlad. Joined Nico, myself, and Jeff Evely as we covered a whole bunch of issues, mostly Antifa related, geopolitical. Vlad had a lot of experience with Antifa way before even Trudeau. And it was a good episode. David Creighton's always a great addition, good information. And huge, huge thanks to Chet for joining us again. Very late for him on the East Coast.
Yeah, it would have been, wouldn't it?
Yep, but still providing a lot of good information. He's the behind-the-scenes researcher for a lot of us, including Viva Fry.
Yeah.
So when Viva Fry looks really smart about Canadian stuff, Chet.
It's Chet.
Chet is helping him with that information. And we need it. We need it. We can't stay on top of everything. It's very, very difficult. Peter McCullough, good doctor, has been on the show several times.
Yep.
Good man. Breaking. Large population study finds COVID-19 vaccines increase risk of 6 major cancers. Shocker. Shocker. There's a lot of stuff that came out of Macus. We are not allowed to call him doctor anymore. He doesn't go by doctor anymore, but that came out of Macus around this a long time ago. So overall cancers. And if you look, it's lung, thyroid, breast, colon, gastric, and prostate. Great. Got all of us. The breast and the prostate gets the two sexes that exist.
It doesn't matter what you transition to, it'll still get you.
But yeah, we knew this. But again, just like the UK thing, it's coming out. The information's coming out.
It is. That's the thing. It's very, very unfortunate, but there will still be no open government accountability because, like I've said, in my opinion, it's the legal ramifications will be tremendous.
And the interesting one of this one is there's a South Korean study of 8.4 million adults find higher risk of overall lung, prostate, thyroid, gastric, colorectal, and breast cancers across both mRNA and viral vector platforms. So China, Russia, and some other places didn't do mRNA.
Yeah.
They did viral vector platforms, which means they took a dead copy of it and put it in more of a traditional vaccine. This new one is not a vaccine. But anyways, we'll just keep going with this. Not all countries use the mRNA ones. All the Western ones did, though. Any case, it doesn't matter which one. It seems like there's something up with this in general that's causing cancer.
Well, for those, and even through shedding. So there's a legitimate concern for all.
Well, there hasn't been shedding connections yet. Okay, those numbers haven't been high enough. You'd have to be exposed frequently and all the time, like a hairdresser or a barber.
Yeah,
so some of the first reports came from them because they're touching people all day long. So we'll see where this goes. But thanks to all the doctors that were brave enough to mention this earlier and start warning people. That probably saved millions of lives as people stopped. I think one of the best things to do is stop exposing yourself to it. So thank you to Dr. McCullough on that one. A little thing about Paula. So Jennifer Lawrence's silence is deafening, and this is about, we'll bring up the video, about in Nigeria, millions, okay? The Islamic takeover of Nigeria, over 7,000 Christians slaughtered in just the last 220 days, 100 churches destroyed every month, 7,800 abductions in early 2025 alone. This is all modern. This is what you escaped from. Not necessarily running like this.
But the civil unrest
but
that was bubbling.
20 years ago, this was still a problem, so much that you guys left Nigeria.
Yeah. There was, in I think it was 2002, there was the Miss World. So Miss World had occurred before, and so there was a comment that had been made which caused a lot of civil unrest within the Islamic community. And that was really the trigger for my dad to say, yes, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. My parents are born and raised in Nigeria, and they've got to see the deterioration.
You're second or third generation?
Yeah. My parents were born there, and I think 3 out of my 4 grandparents were born there. So they've got to see the decline of the nation ever since the British handed over power back to the Nigeria. And so it's been very sad, and it's heartbreaking. But we chose to leave. We immigrated to Canada. We had family here, but I still have family in Nigeria, and they get to share that. Things are hard, things are difficult, and now seeing this civil unrest bubble up again due to religion.
Yeah, well, this has been happening for a long time.
Yeah,
like we hear about schools, girls, a whole classroom.
Oh yeah, remember. But it's very, very, it's very, very sad to look back and see what my home nation come.
Yeah. And it's something that doesn't get a lot of news at all. People barely know.
It's an African nation. That's why.
But a trans person gets misgendered, it's all over the news. A bunch of Christian girls in Nigeria get kidnapped.
Yeah, there's been genocide in the African nations for many, 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 many years. And so it may make the news every now and again. Well, it's so bad in the Sudan that they created 2 countries. You now have northern and southern Sudan. So
maybe there'll be northern, southern Nigeria one day.
I don't know, but it's a lot, and it's terrible, and it is ignored by media.
Right. So back to this side of our problems, digital ID, of course. Thanks again to Wiretap. Wiretap's going to be our guest on our morning show in the next couple of weeks. Can come talk to us about this. But the digital profiles in Canada have been around for a long time. It was Harper government that brought it in. and they started to collect that kind of data on a digital level a long time ago. My comment here is maybe this is why the Conservative Party are not talking about digital ID, like talking against it. Stephen Harper was instrumental in bringing in the WF and UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, into Canada, among others. Digital ID plus central bank digital currency plus social credit scores equals complete control of humanity. Take a look at China. It's not fiction, it's reality. So here you go. This is from even before 2020, China's social credit system, the hierarchy of it, the things that will get you up. The scary ones, like there's a lot of things in here that sound nice, like taking care of your elderly folks, cool. Being charitable, cool. But let's take a look at some of the things here, because it's not nice. Rumors against the government, bad. Holding up the government's narratives, good. The opposing government, bad. Doing what you're told and obeying, good. See where this is going?
Whatever you like.
Whatever you like. Exactly. So according to their system, you start off at 1,000 points. You can go down to 600. And what does it affect? Well, you can't get loans. You can't travel. You can't get onto high-speed trains. You can't get onto planes. These are the things that you won't be able to do. You'll be shunned. This bottom one here talks about public shaming, where they put your picture on screen so people can see you and know you and name you. They dox you.
So like the modern day version of the stockade?
And what can you get if you are good? Well, you'll get low interest rates. You'll get access to public services, which means you don't if you don't, right?
Yeah.
And you can go to the gym and other things like that. So whatever you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, be aware of this. And people, it's not conspiracy theory. Here we go again with, oh, that will never come to here, or are you comparing us to China? No. China brought it in, and the same steps happened there. They needed digital ID, they needed face recognition, they needed full control over the banks, and they implemented their social credit scores. Watch out.
Yeah.
This is exactly what's coming.
Remember that the West secretly respects what the East is doing.
Not secretly. Trudeau said he admired it.
We can only one person has openly said that. I'm not going to paint them.
He always says
publicly.
The quiet part out loud. That guy, and I bet you a bunch of globalists like shh.
But they've seen how the masses are controlled, and it's like, oh man, I wish I could do that, and now they're starting to do it.
Our guest is Clyde, so check out a show, and he's having some fun on Blue Sky. So he created a profile there, and he is just blown away. And he'll get into that, just how echo chambering crazy they are over there. So Trump, if you're looking to find out where Antifa is, go check out that platform. And I remember Parler. So Parler was a platform where it was a lot of conservatives in there, because this is when X was still very left before Elon. Parler. And what they did to Parler was they destroyed it. So how they destroyed it is Amazon is where the platform was running off of, Amazon's computer systems, servers and cloud. And Amazon imposed onto them $1 million requirement to use AI moderation to go ahead and moderate things. And they gave them like a 72-hour window or shut down their service, like some ridiculous thing. Very difficult to implement tech. You're going to be forced to put in tech. You're going to be forced to put up $1 million to get the tech. And this was Amazon's AI moderation system too. So they forced that onto them. Totally illegal in my mind. Can't do that. That's exactly what they did. And then they took down Parler, and bada boom, bada bing, it's gone. But Blue Sky's good.
Yeah.
Blue Sky's fine.
They're the good guys.
Yeah, but they're calling for assassinations in there. They're calling for attacks. They're calling to coordinate. But Blue Sky's fine.
Yeah. No, they're not.
No,
they're not.
So Clyde's in there. He's in a lion's den. We'll see how he survives. He may have some scratches on him by now, but he'll be joining us in a few minutes. So the Canadian Food Inspection Agency got back to me yesterday for my invitation for an interview. They declined it, and their comment was, unfortunately, we will not be able to provide a spokesperson for an interview on this issue. I was really expecting them to say, because of the Supreme Court case, we can't talk, like to use that excuse. But this is actually the second message out of them. The first message was, do you have a deadline? And I said, I am flexible. I am flexible. I can work with whatever. And then I got this response. So they declined the interview. What are they hiding? They have media relations. It's for that purpose. They could talk to us, but they're choosing not to. And only on this issue. So I'm sure if I asked about something else, like, why do you guys exist? And we won't talk about the ostriches, and then maybe we could talk to them. But on this issue, they will not talk. People are not happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, Larry Ellison, creator, founder, whatever of Oracle, is saying the quiet part out loud.
Yes, he is.
Saying the quiet part out loud. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. So the full context of this was a digital world where there's cameras everywhere for the police and citizens.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you watch the clip, he says, the police will be better because we're watching. The citizens will be better because we're watching. Well, who's the we in those sentences?
Yeah.
Because it's not the police, because you're watching the police and the citizens. This is the elite.
Yeah. And he was interviewed by former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who was in awe of, wow, I think this is going to be really exciting on how you want, government to now be addressing its people for their benefit. I'm
elite. You mispronounced
I
elite.
was like, dude, Tony, you're showing your colors.
Well, we knew that though about
we knew.
him. Yeah, he was a warmonger too. So he's almost worth $400 billion and growing, and he says we'll be on our best behavior.
I love this comment here from Derek because he put it on when we were talking about the credit score. He says, they're not compelling behaviors. It's up to you to choose the behavior favorably.
If you want to eat in a restaurant, fly on a plane, cross the border, it's your choice to put this in your arm.
Yeah. Behave favorably. It's your choice.
We do this with our children now. Like, we'll give them two options. Do you want to behave or misbehave? Your choice. Yeah. So this is a parental hierarchy here. And pretty soon they're going to, they do have a naughty and nice list. Social credit scores.
Yep.
All right, so our favorite Dr. Moron's at it again. This guy he's going to find himself on the wrong end of some sort of legal situation at some point. He's saying COVID was deadly. The vaccines worked. Ivermectin didn't. mRNA vaccines are vaccines. There is no such thing as turbo cancer. COVID vaccines don't cause cancer. Thank you. Have a good day. So we've already proven all of that to be false. So I'm trying to highlight here that our favorite Dr. Moron's at it again, because this guy keeps popping up on my feed and I see this stuff. If it was true, why did he feel the need to post it? He's a quack, and he's been trying to keep the big lies going. History repeats itself. So the actual quote from Joseph Goebbels,
it's no, you're not pronouncing it.
I'm probably not.
But yeah, it's the German name. We know who he
is. Okay. So the actual quote that he said, because a lot of people misquote him about if you tell a lie enough times, people will believe it. The actual quote is, the English follow the principle that when one lies, then it should be a big lie and one should stick to it. They keep up their lies even at the risk of looking ridiculous. That's exactly what's still going on here. And then there's a larger quote from Adolf himself about the same thing. If you tell a big lie, the human mind isn't really capable. They can pick up small lies because they do small lies. But if you tell big lies, they don't comprehend that big lies can be big lies because they can't do big lies. And this is exactly how you get away with it. Big lies. The human mind has a hard time grasping the fact that a big lie can be told. They just believe in small lies and little lies. So history is repeating itself because that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to keep repeating the big lies, and enough people will follow them, but it's not working so much anymore. Maxine came out against what's going on with the ostriches. Good on you. More people need to. A couple of conservatives have started talking about it, but more should, because as we dig into this, they definitely need to survive. The interview here. Okay, so this is one we get to, and Clyde will jump on with you in just a second here. So the law actually supports the birds being to live. So the law says the birds don't have to be destroyed. I did some legal digging yesterday. Yeah. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency is insisting that all the ostriches at the Universal Ostrich Farm must be called. However, Canadian law makes it clear that there are alternatives, especially when the value of scientific research is at stake. Dr. Stephen Pletch has made it clear there is research value. So the Health of Animals Act, Section 48, Sub 2, about treatment says that, I'll just highlight this quickly because we'll get to Clyde right away. It basically says if it can be treated, that is a path forward. Yep. So You don't have to kill them. If it could be treated, there's a path forward. And with these particular birds, they got sick in December 2024. They're not sick anymore. Therefore, you don't even need to treat them.
Yep.
But the Health of Animals Act says you don't have to call if there's a way to treat. Okay, so good. Maybe highlight that in the Supreme Court conversation. The Health of Animals Regulations, which is closely tied to the Health of Animals Act, Section 5, sub 1A, it's inspector discretion. So a veterinarian inspector may order an exposed or suspect animal to quarantine, keep separate from or treat the animal. So it's not the law that says they have to be called according to the regulations. It's discretion. They don't have to do it. They can choose to quarantine and treat. They don't have to call. And this is important because CFIA and CBC and others are saying they have to die. No, they don't actually. And then the last section I pulled up here, Health of Animal Act, Section 13, sub 2A, reserved for experimentation. Quote, the minister may reserve for experimentation an animal required to be destroyed under this act, which means if there's a scientific value to them, something worth experimenting on, you don't have to call them.
Yeah.
So here's 3 different ways under the current laws that they don't have to destroy them. Now, this clip I put here, which is just over 2 minutes or so, highlighted that because they survived, they had a high survival rate to avian flu. The death rate is 85%.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular group, 85% survived.
Yes, it was 15%.
So they had a complete flip of what was expected. For that reason alone, there's a $2.5 million BC program, which is being launched for the purpose of trying to find a way to stop avian flu from killing a whole bunch of birds in BC. What better way to start than to experiment and research these birds who didn't die when they should have died? So you put all these pieces together, these birds do not have to die.
Yep.
So hopefully that information gets out there. You share it. I'm digging. I'm in the laws. I'm talking to doctors and experts. And I also got his report, his expert report. I'm just clearing with the lawyer to make sure we can go ahead and post it. I don't want to interfere with the Supreme Court any way, shape, or form. But we'll get that to you as soon as we can. Without further ado, welcome to Blue Sky Side.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate that. So you're surviving. Are you all scraped up? Like, how is it in that little lion's den?
What, in British Columbia?
No, Blue Sky.
Oh, Blue Sky. Okay, yeah. So I went over on to Blue Sky. I think it was on Friday or at some point in the weekend, just to go check it out because I heard that. Well, I didn't even heard of this website until recently. Well, obviously with the news of what happened to Charlie Kirk, his being assassinated, and the fact that so many leftoids were over there doing their thing. And so I went to go check it out. I wanted to see what the whole rave was about. And basically it's just an echo chamber. It's crazy. It's literally an X clone. Like they just took the whole website, copy, paste, made a new one. I'm assuming because they're upset that they can't censor people on the right. It's crazy to me. This is really crazy.
Yeah, 100%. And that came out like, they killed Parler. So Parler used to be an alternative to X, but more conservative based, and they killed that one. And then when Elon took over X, removed the restrictions, a lot of the restrictions, some of them still there. That's when you saw the migration over to Blue Sky. Facebook tried to do Threads. That didn't work out so well, but Blue Sky took off. So what are some of the things that you're seeing in there? Like when you say echo chamber, we get it. Like they're going to repeat their side of things, but is there like dangerous stuff going on in there?
Well, what I see is just old Twitter. The old Twitter that used to be only one-sided. If you spoke out about conservative values, libertarian values, what have you, you get shut down pretty quick. I've already had warnings on there for stating. For stating facts. I made a post saying that trans women are men, and that got taken down pretty quick. Yeah, the horror. Just stating facts, right? So, it just feels like old Twitter. That's really what it is, and it really is a shame at the end of the day because, I mean, from everything that we should learn from Charlie Kirk is he talked about this a lot. Dialogue is important. If we don't have dialogue and that breaks down, then people turn to violence. And this is what I think the left is doing. You don't see a lot of violence coming from the right. The only violence you see is people defending themselves. But we see perpetrators on the left, and a lot of incitement along those lines. And the rhetoric hasn't stopped over on Blue Sky. The rhetoric, I think, still exists on Twitter from people on the left saying what they're saying and what they have been saying for a long time, and pushing this idea that anyone on the right is literally Hitler, things like that. It's dangerous. It's dangerous at the end of the day, because you're just emboldening crazy people to go out and actually physically attack people.
Well, that's the radicalization, right? Like, you say it enough times and people believe it. And if you actually believe that somebody's a Nazi and dangerous and harmful to maybe your new partner that you're roommating with, and actually think that, oh, they want this person dead and they're coming and raise, you may then start taking action to protect, even though that's not what's going on. A lot of the canceled employment posts that we saw was from Blue Sky. Like, people seem very proud and open, and I don't know why they feel protected there, because you just have to go in there and see what's going on there. But do you think people are showboating, or are they actually showing the real intention and mindset?
Well, I think the most interesting thing that came out about what people are calling cancel culture on the right now is the idea that a lot of these people posted these videos celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. The most surprising part about it was the fact that they thought that was normal. They thought that that would be received as a good thing to do. That's the most shocking part about the whole thing. And the fact that people are being fired from their jobs. I mean, yeah, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. And I'm not a proponent of cancel culture, but we see things like what happened to Jimmy Kimmel. I see it as different than what happened on the other way around, when the shoe was on the other foot. Cancel culture went further than that. People were the reaction to Jimmy Kimmel I saw mostly was, looks like he's gonna have to start his own podcast to invest in a nice mic and camera. That's not what we saw on the left. We saw people canceled from social media, from everything. They were depersoned. Losing your job because you did a terrible thing at work, that's another thing altogether from what we saw as real cancel culture. And this was people being deplatformed, being unpersoned, not just losing their job, but having future prospects being thwarted for them, and not even being able to defend themselves. We could see what happened to Donald Trump. He was deplatformed on a single day, January 6th, when he came out. And this is the most interesting part about this whole development, was when he came out and told people to go home, they deleted that video. That was the video that had to go, because that's the one that really exonerated him as not being someone calling for violence, as they were purporting, or they were reporting on the mainstream news. So that had to go, and he had to be deleted from the internet, essentially. Now, recent news just came out that Google just had a settlement with Donald Trump over that particular thing. I think it was, what was it, $25 million they had to pay out to Donald Trump? Yeah, so I guess things are turning around. I'm happy for that, but what the reaction is more violence. People taking to the streets, people taking to committing atrocious acts, and I don't know what the end game is here.
Well, it's going to be the government stepping in and bringing National Guards to cities like Portland, Chicago, Washington. Yeah. It's going to be addressing that. And you see citizens on the street thanking the National Guard when they show up, like, thank you. The rate of murder in Washington, D.C. dropped basically the first week to nothing and hasn't returned. I think you're going to see more of that. But then that also gives a bit of an ammunition saying, well, look, you are for tyrannical. Your benefit. No, you're tyrannical. Here you are with your stormtroopers. Like, you still have that narrative as well. And the Jimmy Kimmel one, I didn't find it. I
just want to push back on that one.
Sure, go ahead.
There's this sentiment that this is a tyrannical thing. It's kind of being compared to martial law. The National Guard is not the military. The National Guard is not the Marines, for example. When the National Guard was established, it was established for this purpose. If there was lawlessness, or a governor or a mayor could call the executive branch and say, please help us. And this is what has been the big delay on this, is Donald Trump has been asking them, do you need our help? We are willing to help. Just ask for it. Please just ask for it, and we'll be there to help you.
No, and I agree with it actually happening. What I'm saying is that the left will use that as a talking point and point it out. And here's another example was Donald Trump said, deploy the National Guard on January 6th. We need to make sure things were safe. But Pelosi said, no, we're not doing that. They actually brought the security down instead. And also things like ICE, they attack ICE.
Yeah.
All the way to firebombing Ice Cube's tour bus because they saw the word ICE on Ice Cube, the rapper's tour bus. So they firebombed it. That's how violent they are. Don't even realize that they're firebombing an artist instead of the actual organization. But how dangerous is that? There was a sniper who shot at an ICE facility, and the video from inside the ICE facility was released. And what did the ICE officers do? Protected all the detainees. They took them all and protected the people that were detained, because that's what you do. You protect life. So no, what I was getting at with that was, this is how they're going to paint it. You're going to see it on Blue Sky. They're going to be like, oh, look at this. The stormtroopers are in. But you're correct. The National Guard are state level, and they're there for that purpose. And they can be activated by the president in order to stop lawlessness. Jimmy Kimmel. So I didn't find what he said offensive. I didn't find it funny. I didn't think it was in good taste. But I think part of the problem there was it was not true. Correct. So, we saw Stephen King come out with that post saying Kirk was calling for the stoning of gay people. That's not true. And then you saw the backlash on him, and I'm pretty sure it was lawyers that called him up and said, look, you're going to get a defamation lawsuit here. This is going to hurt your finances. So he did an apology. I think the Kimmel one was more along those lines too, because there's reports that said Disney asked him to apologize. Maybe it was the lawyers that said you can't make things up. You can't say he's MAGA when he's not MAGA. So maybe it was a pushback on the truth from the FCC, not necessarily the offensiveness on it. What are your thoughts there about a truth department? Because that even scares me, that if you're not telling truth, and who decides what truth is, that there's going to be consequences to that.
Well, I think you should be on the hook for libel, and there should be liability involved there. Was it the Smith-Mund Act of previous years? That it was the Obama administration that actually got rid of that, and that act gave people an avenue to go after news agencies that spread lies. If they spread lies as a news agency, not as an entertainer or a comedian, you really can't do much about entertainers and comedians lying to you. I mean, they lie to you when they say, my name's Private Ryan. You know what I mean? How far would you go with that? I mean, we have freedom of speech, we have the freedom of expression, but when it comes to the news, there should be certain aspects to that, liabilities that they fall under. And when that act was removed from Biden, we saw a huge uptick in just false reporting and actual fake news. This is a real thing. So if they were held liable for lies, I think you'd see a bit of a turn. And I don't think that in saying that there's a problem with freedom of speech, because I'm all for freedom of speech, but there are consequences to saying things that are lies. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, just looked it up to confirm it. Trudeau himself removed it in 2017. It was Bill C-39, which removed from the criminal code spreading false news. So it wasn't just the U.S., but Canada did it too in 2017. He removed the requirement for the news to be honest and truthful. We called that the anti-propaganda law. He took it out. And then he created the media fund, and then yada, 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 state media. So it wasn't just the U.S. that pulled that out. It was Canada as well. Do we aware of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see something like that come back, an anti-propaganda law. But I mean, even further than that, I think the state should just be out of the news business. in the first place. And maybe that's my libertarian sensibilities coming out, but I just don't think that there is a place. I think there's a conflict of interest there when the government has a say in what the news can and can't say, or even has just undue influence. And we see it every day. We see the news running roughshod for the Liberal Party, especially in the last election. I thought that every news agency that got federal funding should have been recused they should have recused themselves of covering the election itself. There's a huge conflict of interest when one candidate is talking about defunding the news agencies and the other candidate is talking about giving money to the news agencies. Right there is a massive conflict of interest, and it should never have taken place. That is enough to sway an election.
Yeah, and it's rampant. Okay, it's not just state fund. I pulled up the documents. Rebel News registered as a third-party advertiser in the last election. We did it in March, Ezra did it in March, because some of the stuff they were talking about or the Conservative Party wasn't considered news. And in order to do that, you have to be considered a third-party advertiser. So you can go ahead and do that without breaking any of the election laws. So it's happening everywhere. It's really just independent citizen who comes out and speaks truth now, because we don't register a third party. We're not state funded. So I like to see that grow. Now, during this last election, there was a lot of independent media covering all sides of this particular election. Do you prefer that versus mainstream and other types of heavily aligned media?
I guess because I'm chronically online. Yeah, of course. I like looking for alternatives everywhere and see what different people's opinions are on all kinds of news stories. And that's what I do on YouTube. I scour the internet to see what people are saying about particular things. We'll see what the mainstream media is saying, and then we'll see what people who have expertise in that particular thing that's being talked about, or people that are large online profiles, things like that. It's really important to get your news from the sources, which is increasingly difficult all the time these days. But it is an aggregate of just voices out there. It's it's a hectic way of navigating the landscape, the news landscape. But I find it much better than just having one authoritative source, one or two authoritative sources, because we know they're not telling us the truth.
I like this comment here from Northern Canuck. Long overdue discussion. Canadian government has been involved in the transmission of narratives since the days of print, let alone radio, TV, and now the internet.
For sure. And they'd like to control at least the information about them, but now they're controlling information about everything, like even medical and legal and policing. They're controlling all of that information too now.
They're controlling the information about what the president of the United States is saying. For months and months and months, we've been hearing that Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. He's unaware of even his own plans with the tariffs. It's all been a lie. It's all a lie. He's been very straightforward about it. He's been very honest in what his plans are for this, but we're being fed a narrative that he somehow is willy-nilly doing every step along the way on a moment's notice. No, everything's been calculated, and it's been very, very clearly articulated to the Canadian authorities. But this is just narratives. Absolutely.
Well, I think the worst one was the Biden narrative during his presidency.
He's healthy. He's fine.
Absolutely
he's
fine.
Sharp.
And now that he's no longer the president, it's like, oh, when did this start? When did the decline begin? It's like, at least 4 years ago, it's been on your screens all day, every day.
When he didn't come out and campaign, it was already there, for sure.
Exactly, in the basement, but hiding because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Sharp as attack, they said. And then that was the funniest part about that whole thing was, at one moment in time, within an hour span, everybody started saying the same phrase, sharp as attack, sharp as attack. You saw it across all media platforms. What does that tell you?
Coordinated. Okay, trusted news initiative out of the BBC towards all of the news organizations. When you see the same word used over and over again, like right after Charlie Kirk, the word that was used over again was retaliation. Watch out for retaliation. Even Rachel Gilmore came out in the first couple hours with that word. It was everywhere. So yeah, you got to look for those patterns: safe and effective, sharp as attack.
Attack against our
that one you
democracy.
have to that one you have to chalk up to being lack of empathy as well. When people are more concerned about their own safety than they are about someone who's just murdered,
Yep.
that says a lot about them.
Well, Charlie Kirk has a quote. He says, "You learn a lot about a person after a death." And yeah, boy, was he correct on that one. The Universal Ostrich Farm situation, I think, is a fantastic example of what we're talking about here. Because when I started to look into it, the first thing I did was try to get the legal docs, see what's going on in the courts. And then I went into the skeptics and the naysayers to see what they're saying about it. And it's a good thing all of this exists because it helps you see a bigger picture. And then I started to primary source interview, talk on the phone first, and then actually had one of the doctors whose report was excluded from the court on, Dr. Stephen Plesh. A fantastic way to do it, because what I also got to tell you there, Clyde, the court is also participating in the misinformation through omission. Okay, so if you read the decision, it's really heavily Canadian Food Inspection Agency's report, their conclusion, their experts only. And you do see that the other experts were excluded and omitted. So if you go and pay attention to that portion of it, and then you go talk to them and you get the copy of those reports, this is an actual way bigger story and a way bigger picture than you can get if you just look at the official record. So not does media and government, but courts too also wash the record and only put out what they want you to have. This happened with Detective Helen Gruce as well. None of her experts were allowed and never made it to the record. So if you read the record, you're definitely going to get the narrative as well instead of the full truth.
I'm not sure what the question there is, but when it comes to the ostrich farm situation, I mean, the silence in Ottawa is deafening. I mean, it's unbelievable that we've gone this far. Property rights are non-existent in Canada, and many Canadians don't realize this. I mean, it was David Lametti a number of years ago when the Freedom Convoy was happening. He was talking about procurement and basically taking people's trucks away and their bank accounts and all this other stuff. And he was asked about it, and he said, "Listen, at the end of the day, Canadians don't fundamentally have a right to property. There are avenues that the government can take to procure people's property away from them, and this is another case of this. And we're talking about lives here, like we're talking about the lives of these animals, but that's not even relevant on their page. That's not what they're thinking here. They're thinking, we put out a mandate, we put out something, and we said you're going to have to do this, and you didn't follow the rules. We're going to come at you with the heavy fist of the state, and we're gonna make sure that we follow through with this, no matter how absurd it looks. And I'm hoping that the Americans step in on this. There's been calls for Donald Trump to address it. I know RFK has already addressed it. He said that they've set up a place. Dr. Oz, I think, has a ranch that they were willing to bring the ostriches to. This is really just a heavy hand of the state saying we made a decision and we're going to follow through with it no matter what. I mean, this is going to be brutal and ugly if the government goes through with this. It's absolutely going to be brutal and ugly. There's no way to cull 400 ostriches without it being an incredible scene. So I don't know what they're thinking and why they're really pushing to do something, to go forward with this. It makes me wonder who's really behind it, and why is it that an ostrich farm that's researching immunology they have such a huge stake in making sure that doesn't move forward.
The irony is under Trudeau, there's a $13 million grant that was provided that kind of kicked off all of this work that was started in BC. And I reached out to the CFIA for comment, and their comment was, on this issue, we can't give you a comment. So they're not even going to talk to us, media. And I also invited the RCMP to have a conversation. They just said, I'm following orders of the CFIA. So we're just there to keep the peace, nothing else, not apply the law. And then I
Yeah,
dug
I
into the
think there's
law.
been times in the past where people were just following
Yeah.
orders. Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
was an excuse that was given at one point.
Well, the RCMP is the worst because their oath is to themselves. And
Yeah.
if there's an order, they got to follow the order. It's not to the crown. It's not to the people. The RCMP oath is to themselves. So they're very paramilitary, and that's exactly how they're acting right now. And yes, historically, that doesn't end well for those types of goons, but we'll see where that goes.
Well, part of their mandate is actually to thwart drug lords and a number of other things. Reports have come out about the super lab that was busted in British Columbia that had no arrests, miraculously, that they know was, pumping out more fentanyl than that could be consumed in Canada. We know what their mandate is, and they're not following through with this. Is the RCMP the most corrupt organization in the Western world? I don't know. That is something that will be discovered at some point. It was the United States that tipped off about that. It was the United States that did their intelligence and said, you're going to have to bust this, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, where they actually went in and took care of this lab. We don't know how many other labs exist in Canada, but they're not doing anything about them. So why are they putting so much resources towards these ostriches? That's the big question.
You bring up excellent
Yeah.
questions, and are they the most corrupt? There's a few up there. It might be a photo finish, but they could be certainly one of the top, no doubt. And just before we got you on, I was highlighting within the laws, which the CFIA uses, the Animal Health Act, there's 3 different options for them to not to do this: treatment, discretion, and experimentation. So there's 3 different ways to keep these birds alive. All of them are valid in this case, but yet they're going to continue. And I do suspect, because the Supreme Court hasn't been siding with the people lately, they keep siding with the government. Like whether it's travel restriction, they didn't want to hear it. It was moot, all those kind of things. I am concerned that the Supreme Court is going to come back with a quick decision to not hear it, because that's the first decision, whether or not they're going to hear it. And if they hear it, then the decision there. But I don't think they're going to come back with a good decision. This is why we're pushing so hard to get this information out, because maybe through an MP and maybe through other channels, they'll hear, oh, you mean they don't actually have to kill them? That's not what the law says. That's the current choice of the CFIA. They actually have options and discretion. Hopefully that's enough to kind of get the needle to be moved on this one. Do you think we can recover from this? Let's say they call the birds. Media is complicit. CBC is telling everybody it was for health reasons. Don't kill your grandma with a bird. People believe it. Do you think that we can recover from this as media and as Canadians? Because I know you're working on staying in the States.
Oh yeah, so I'm working on moving down to the United States, and it's probably one of the best things to do as a Canadian content creator. Let's just be honest. We see with the new bill that's coming out, Bill C-8. If you've read through it at all, in even just a first glance, provisions to shut down individual users. They can have you shut down from even accessing the internet. They can single you out and have your service providers take you out and limit your access to even getting on the internet, let alone getting your voice out there. So yeah, I'll be a strong voice from Texas about what's happening in Canada on that front. How are we going to recover from this situation with the ostriches? I'm not sure, because there's no faith in government anymore at this point. I mean, so many exceptions are made for other things. I mean, we see, when it comes to like helmet laws, you get an exception if you have religious circumstances and can't put a helmet on your head. There's exceptions that are granted to some people and not others. But then when it comes to ostrich farming, they're not even sold for meat, folks. Like, this is something that needs to be understood. This isn't an animal farm for consumption purposes. This is a research facility where they're researching immunology. Like, this is crazy. And when the birds are inoculated with avian flu and then they recover, that's something that's more valuable than anything. The main point here is they're worried. The reason why the provisions even exist in the first place is they're worried about the spread of avian flu. So if migratory birds come to a farm and are in contact with whatever fowl that are on that farm, they contract avian flu. It may spread, and it may spread to other wild birds, or it may spread in the sense of jumping that gap and going to humans. And they're worried about that. But this is a prime opportunity. The fact that they caught avian flu, mind you, over a year ago, and have since recovered and have antibodies for it. This is valuable beyond anything, because you obviously don't want to destroy these birds, because they're the key to ending this epidemic of avian flu. That's a potential. It's not even an actual epidemic, but it's a potential, and it's a worry. So if you wanna thwart that, you want to keep these birds, but that calls into question, why are they pushing so hard on this? Again, is there ulterior motives? Is there some other reason why they want to get rid of this research into immunology? I mean, you paint your own picture. You can probably guess where that might be coming from.
Well, our social credit score, your social credit score just went down a couple points because we're pushing against the government. And this is where they're headed with that one too. And I wish I had the answer to that question. I asked Dr. Stephen that question as well in the phone call, and he doesn't want to speculate. But they absolutely had a higher survival rate than expected for the avian flu, 85% survival versus 15% in the normal situation. And he also highlighted how they caught it from the wildlife. It's not the other way around. The wildlife is out there and they're not unchecked, and there's nothing going on with them to stop it. They're the ones going from farm to farm spreading it. It's not like the neighbor's farm will get it from the ostriches. It's the other way around.
The biggest point I heard from this is with the antibodies that are available with these ostriches, because the ostriches have such incredible immune systems. That's how they were able to survive so long, since like prehistoric times. And having those antibodies, they could actually successfully inoculate wild birds and virtually eradicate avian flu altogether. And then we wouldn't have to have these culls all over the place, all over North America. 166 million chickens were culled last year in the United States. And it's an unnecessary step if we have a way of inoculating wild bird populations.
Yeah, and if you don't care about the animal side of this, from 2020 to 2024, they were doing research for COVID, SARS-CoV-2, and they actually came up with treatment to stop you getting from SARS-CoV-2, which means who needs vaccines? Maybe there's a connection there, because part of their research was how to help humans using the antibodies from the ostrich yolk to filter and block SARS-CoV-2 from even entering you in the first place. So, and there's a peer-reviewed study around this one that actually does work. You can put the antibodies in a filter and it will catch it, because the filter is too big, but the antibodies in the filter can catch it. So there is research around preventing infection of SARS-CoV-2 using the antibodies from these yolks. So I don't know whether it's helping the humans, why we stopped doing that, or helping avian flu, why we stopped doing that. In both cases, these birds have some value. You should at least research why they have these values.
Oh, absolutely. They have tremendous value. People have been ballparking numbers. I don't know what the exact value. It could be priceless. Absolutely. If they're culled and then we can't reproduce what they've done for a very long time. I mean, these birds, they live what, 50 to 70 years? Like they're not
up to 90, I think.
Yeah, they're not chickens. Like, this is not the same thing. They're large animals, and they hold the keys to a lot of things scientifically that could be breakthroughs. And it's a travesty if the government goes through with this.
Yeah, and where's the BC government on this? Because they've launched a $2.5 million program to research protecting birds from avian flu. And hello, right in your backyard is a potential solution to that. They should be part of that study, frankly. Clyde, thank you so much for your generous time today. I really appreciate it. Nice running into you in Calgary, meeting in person for the first time. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Good luck with your setup in the US. And absolutely correct. With Bill C2, we can get access to your devices. Bill C8, we can shut down your internet. Bill C9, everything's hate. with all these together, we're in rough shape up here in Canada for sure. Thanks for your
Well,
time. Any last comment for Canada?
Well, just keep paying attention. I'll still be online because I'll be protected by the First Amendment when I'm down in the United States, and I'll be still talking about Canadian issues because I think it's Canada is the canary in the coal mine in North America. America needs to really pay attention to what's happening here so that they can stop that from happening there, and perhaps lend a hand to their northern buddy that needs a little bit of help and a little bit of guidance. The population in Canada, as you saw in the last election, had a hard time making right decisions, and it's because of the propaganda. It's because the Canadian people have been propagandized for so long. They keep asking for more of it. Govern me harder, daddy. We'll see what happens. The website is youtube.com. I'm on Clyde Do Something, the YouTube channel there. So go check that out.
Cool.
Thanks a lot for your time. And maybe I'll need a VPN, Starlink, just to catch your show in the coming years. Who knows? We'll see. Might get to that, Clyde. You have a great day. Say hi to the wife, and congratulations on everything you're working on. You're doing good work.
Thank you. Cheers.
Take care. Bye. Cool. So I like what he's doing there because he's going to establish himself and to keep talking. And this is something we've spoken about.
Tayana's doing the same thing. She's able to speak because she's not in Canada.
Because we were thinking about, like, what do we do if it gets to the point where they charge us for speech? Well, then that's going to interfere with our ability to cross the border and all that kind of stuff. It's a tough one. If Alberta doesn't become an independent nation, I think we're going to have to look at options because Canada is absolutely pushing hard on silencing what we do.
Yep.
All right.
So how are we going to do this?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to locals hang out.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the goodbye video.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to click off everybody. You start on the left, I'll start on the right, except for locals.
Well, I got to start as well. Do the only for supporters too.
Sure. Yeah. We'll get this all done. But locals, hang out. Okay.
Yeah.
We're coming to you. We're working out all the tech right now. But for the rest of you, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. Make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah. Everyone have a fantastic day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Love you all, and God bless.